Alrighty. I think we're live. How we doing, everyone? Give me a moment to get situated. Gamer is Sean, Dan does, Leonardo, Twal, how you doing? Okay. I think we're all set. I believe. Maybe. Ah, you're kidding. Hold on. Of course, as soon as I go live, everything just... settings. Restart driver. Fingers crossed, everyone. Hope you're doing well. There we go, and we're back. Nice one. Okay. Shane, thank you so much. Appreciate you, my friend. Crisley, what's going on? Okay. All right. Let's get into it, shall we? All right. Now, do I have my Pinterest? Where is my Pinterest? Here is my Pinterest. Okay. Let's get going. I want to start with some sketching. I want to start just getting some pen to paper, or stylus to screen, whatever you prefer. Kentaz, doing well. How you doing? All right. Let's just grab some cheeky reference. I like this Willem Dafoe. I actually quite like this pear, if I'm honest. Is that too boring for stream? I don't know. Dan does, you do whatever you want. I'm coming in here and this is my practice time. My chill time, so you do whatever you feel like you want to do. Let's just get going. Let's just get going with the good old Willem Dafoe. Get a bit of the sketchiness going, shall we? Flat flowy. Let's do it. Good to hear it, Kentas. Okay. So where is everything here? All right. Let's see what we got today. Are the art gods going to be kind to us? We shall see. Okay. I'm going to start pretty sketchy, I reckon, to begin with. I want to go the scribble about kind of technique to start. Try and find some of these shapes. Just as a warm-up, I like to do a bit of painting today. But I also want to do a bit of sketching, so that's why we are here. Alright, so starting off with these simple shapes. He's going to have that sort of side eye. Looking down. Kind of vibe. Now, I'm not going for likeness. Likeness takes a while, for me at least. So I'm just trying to get something on the page. You might be able to nail the likeness bang on straight away, you know. Tricep here, there. Now he's looking a little bit off here with the arm, so we can knock that back. Give the old flip around. Simplify the shapes. Sarah, hello Ben, did you study or perfect your drawing abilities in realistic human anatomy before moving into stylized characters? No. William Chage, Bikes, how you doing? No, so yeah, I didn't perfect them by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't think I would recommend trying to get really bang on. Like, and I don't want to throw out recommendations for that, like what to do first. But I think what's more important, let's say, rather than knowing all that the pec comes up here and then inserts into the arm and blah, 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 right? Instead of all that, I would recommend getting really, really familiar with just the shape. Like if we're looking at the pec, for example, right? What is it sitting on and how do we draw that, you know, in 3D space? Right? And even before that, getting used to drawing really simple forms. You know, that's almost more important than getting anatomy bang on. And then I wouldn't not try and stylize stuff because you quote unquote haven't nailed anatomy yet. Have a play around, you know. There's absolutely nothing wrong with playing. But they do both help each other, definitely. Like, understanding a bit about, like, standard realistic human anatomy does help, but don't let it stop you from experimenting. That's what I would say. If that makes sense at all. Orkin, thank you, my friend. Coming through here is Sean. What's going on? How you doing? So it's getting closer now. Lightbox. Gonna be there with Rembert Monthold. No worries, Sarah. Hearts Productions. How you doing? Lightbox is just around the corner. Going to be there. Got a booth. I've got a booth number, but I can't remember it right now. Did you decide what you want to work on in the booth? No. Nah. I have yet to figure that out. Also had the last session of the workshop yesterday. Which turned out well. And some of the homework that the workshop crew was submitting was phenomenal. So I'm just playing a bit here with a bit of sketchiness, you know. I've also started to lose my voice a little bit. JK Studios, how you doing? All right, let's knock him back. Let's see how we can refine it, shall we? Kind of want to iron out a lot of the detail. But still try and find a bit of that structure, you know? Promise, hi Ben, just passing by, going to see a movie when I got the notification. Ah, nice one, enjoy the movie. Really love your stuff, hope you have a great stream. Ah, thank you so much. Enjoy the cinema. Haven't been to the movies in a long time. Let's have a look here. Now, I do not want to get stuck into likeness because I will be here for the next 3 hours unless we could accidentally get it. This is not the goal. This is just a warm-up. Ah, all good, Ishan. No worries. How's school been going? Manit Guru, hey Ben, when doing a stylized study like this, do you already have an idea of how it would be stylized, or does it come along the way? It sort of develops along the way. The way that I like to draw is I sort of build a drawing versus having an exact 100% idea of what it's going to be like, you know, beforehand. I have a feeling more so of the kind of shapes I want to add in. Right, but less so like a clear picture, if that makes sense. Hello Ben, nice eyeglasses. Is everything okay with your eye? CGI visual. Thank you so much for the question. Also, leaks. I just got my 3-day pass badge for Lightbox in the mail. Fantastic. I'll catch you there. I wouldn't say everything's okay. I've got astigmatism, which isn't like a lot of people have it. So now I need to wear glasses if I want to see things clearly. But it's been such a good little game changer. I didn't realize what I was putting up with without them. Now with this, I'm trying to see what I can get away with the least amount of lines. School is good. I don't really attend my classes. I just have to write my exam because I'm a student athlete. Money Guru, got it. Thanks a lot. Been trying to do a lot more stylized art recently. Your video on Procreate helped so much. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Going to be recording another one at Procreate this year, which will be good fun. Right, how can we push this a little bit more? Well, less so pushing it. I'm thinking editing it in a way where it's just the bare necessities of what's needed to get the idea across, right? Kind of like what we did with the head. I always just leave the hair though. I need to get out of that habit. The best. I thought those glasses were projecting the reference image onto the paper and you're just tracing over the lines. Shh, 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 shh. Let's not reveal my secrets, eh? Pretty interesting detail in the arms. Yeah, it is. There are some fun little details, so we can maybe try and find them. So we've got the clavicle here, which is going to give us that center line. Let's figure it out. I'm going to utilize a bit of the double line tactic. Bit of the double line, a little bit of the tricep, bit of the bicep coming down. This is going to cross over here. This is going to cross in. Give a bit of that action. And then a bit of the pokey outy elbow. Nothing wrong with that. Flip it around. See if it's making sense. All right, so the proportions are all out of whack, but the ideas are are kind of there. Now let's get this back arm going. Shall we? Hi Nikki, how you doing? Alright, so what do we got? We got this arm coming in here. Let's draw in this sort of stomach area. He's got a little bit of a fold going on here, a little bit of a crease. There's some foreshortening going on here, which we've got to be aware of. Ben, how long did it take you to get used to switching from traditional drawing to digital? I never really did traditional too much. Done a lot of digital. Or do you mean more realistic? The Willem Dafoe I drew has a huge frame and now looks like an absolute unit. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, what I'm trying to do here is just edit. Just for a bit of practice. Edit what's really there. See, we're not going too far from the reference. It's not like a complete stray. Lana, how you doing? I'm trying to draw from a book. Best of luck. Hey, Sean. Catch you later, Dan. Cool. He's got a bit of attitude, you know. What arts? What's going on? Force is a good one. Dear Rowd, hello. How you doing? I'm frustrated already and have been a lot lately when trying to draw anything. My hand won't do what my brain is telling it to. Yep, we will go through that. Definitely. That's not a, you're not alone with that by any stretch of the imagination. Point Dexter07. Hey Ben, always wanted to ask, when practicing a different style, do you retain things naturally as you look at reference, or is it a more technical aspect like rigorous study? Would love others' opinions. When I'm practicing a different style, do you retain things naturally? I will. I'll pick it up, and if I try it in a few different ways other than like a study, then it tends to stick if I like it, right? And if it feels good. Like for example, if I was doing like a style study right now, instead of copying that study, right, and then just calling it a day, I will grab one thing that I'm trying to learn from the study. It could be line work, right? Do the study, right, with this in mind, okay? And then I'll very quickly go and try it on my own sort of drawing, you know? This is where it sticks for me. Less so just doing copying, if that makes sense, or studying. Studying is sort of, for me, trying it out on my own, in my own context, on my own characters. So then it really like just like sticks a lot, you know? When is your next Gumroad tutorial? A new course is coming at the hopefully by October. I'm hoping. All right. So keep an eye out. I will be letting you know. Hi Ben, how much of this is grinding enough to find the tools tools / stylistic shorthands that make your own distinct style? Are there any drills to force this process along? Maybe you're copying others? I just get so stuck in realism. Yeah, kind of what I'm talking about here, right? So I'll do some style reference. I'll get sort of works from people that I like, and then I'll pick out things that I like about it, and then study them via copying just to get the feel for it, and then I would study it via like translation onto my own work, or try and put it outside of the sandbox of the study itself. And that's, as you do that more and more and more with different styles that you like. You're going to pick a bit from this person. You're going to pick the line work from that person, the way they color from this person, the way this person paints, the way this person uses the shadows. You know what I mean? And that's going to just naturally build up your style instead of trying to force something that really comes from your tastes plus the time that you put in to figuring out how to do certain things, if that makes sense. But yeah, I got stuck in realism for a very long time, so I feel your pain. I've had it on my shelf for a while, but decided to just dive into it. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I read it a while back, but no, it's a good one. All good point, Dexter. Lazy Sketch Guy, how you doing? I saw your new Procreate video. It was great. Ah, thank you. No, I appreciate it. It was good fun. Good fun hanging out with the Procreate team. So copy from others and apply to yours. Yeah, but more importantly, copy, like, I think you can put a supercharger on your learning if you identify something about the person that you're studying that you enjoy, that you like. For example, line work, right? And then focus on that instead of getting work that they've line worked and colored and lit and done backgrounds and all that kind of thing. I would just like work on pinpointing things. And if it's everything about their work, awesome. Maybe try line work first, then coloring, and then try and combine the two. You know what I mean? Or you get line work from someone else, color from someone else, and then try and combine the two. And like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, the phone, my dad. I would love to somehow mix your style with Mark Brunet. Go for it. I think he's more like anime-y kind of vibe, which I want to experiment with. I haven't drawn a lot of anime. I've been thinking about that myself to experiment a little bit and like mix the worlds somehow. Could be fun. How do we achieve your type of line work in Procreate? There's a good brush. The chalk brush is lovely. Just the default chalk brush. I do enjoy that. John Toffee, love this great wisdom. Thanks so much. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Promise, intentionally study. Yep, that's it. That's what I would recommend. Intentionality, because then you have a goal. You got somewhere to go. All right. Where is Procreate? Let's get another bit of reference, shall we? Let's see what we've got. Why is this music Christmas themed? I say it every bloody stream. Not a clue. Let's go. Figure reference. We've done a few of these before. I don't think I've done this one. This could be an interesting one, maybe. Maybe even this one as well. That's quite nice. Stream. Figure reference. Yeah, just like a reclining figure. A little bit more complex. Got some cloth. Okay. Let's change this music. Do my head in. Nothing against Christmas. It's just a time. There's a time and a place for it, you know. The sleigh bells are not a year-round instrument. What? Where do I even search? Here we are. So you guys can see what I'm actually looking at. Am I going crazy, or is there just no search bar? Sound effects saved. Here's a search bar. Lofi hip hop. Now I think I do the tag, not the genre. Who tagged that as lo-fi hip hop? Whatever. It is what it is. Let's get this off the screen. Okay. Sam Kelly, how you doing? I'm currently at a desktop Ronzilla. Oh, thank you, Lina. Sam Kelly, ever thought about doing a comic? Your style would be super nice. Yeah, I have actually. I've started to dabble with the idea. All in my brain though, no actual plans. But Lofi. Hello, didn't you have a Pinterest board public to follow, or am I confused? No, I do. Just search on Pinterest, Ben Eblin, and you should be able to find me. All right, let's... I'm really not a fan of how this is turning out either, this painting. There's something off about it, and I haven't spent much time on it, so to be figured out later. All right, what have we got? Let's see if we can simplify this down even more. Carrots, what's going on? So what do we have? So I'm just gonna throw some shapes down and see what comes out, okay? We've got this triangle kind of vibe here. Boom, boom. Here, book. Leg, shoe. Other leg. Knee, leg, torso, crunch of the abdominals, shoulder, jacket, head, glasses for eye direction, thumb on book. And this is kind of abstractly what I'm... Sounds annoying, but it's kind of like a... Yeah, it's really just like pattern recognition, right? And because this is kind of a long lens, there's not going to be too much distortion with with any of the perspective and that kind of thing. Fold, fold, bun. It's a bloody big page, Orkin. It's around 4,000 by 4,000, I think. Not the biggest of pages, but not the smallest. Okay, this gives us something to work with, right? Something to work within. Knock him back. Let us refine. Also, for those of you that are playing along, or if you're not, I'd recommend actually looking at the reference for quite like a little bit longer than you think you should be. You know, actually thinking about the next stroke that you're going to make. That tends to help quite a lot. So you can start, especially with this kind of observational study, a lot of the relationships and everything between, even with stylized stuff, it's a lot of like relationships between things. Blender with Perfect. I need to get a graphics tablet, particularly if you are using Blender. I would highly recommend it. Come on, this music up. Can I just change it from here, please? Thank you. How do I get my lines so straight? Annoying answer, practice. Less annoying answer, it's a fast movement, right? And it's from the shoulder more so. So I'm not doing like wrist. If I try and do a straight line from the wrist, it kind of still works. I also have a little bit of the smoothing on, which helps. All right. The smoothing does help. Got a placeholder face in there. Eyes, schnoz. That'll do. Is there like a usual exercise you default to if you cantaloupe decide on what to draw or practice on? Yeah, probably drawing heads. You know, that's default. Shapes. You know, shapes, simple shapes. They're quite fun. From a color standpoint and like painting, maybe just simple objects. Maybe just practicing my value transitions, right? Just with very simple shapes. It's good just to get into the flow. right? So even with these real simple shapes, trying to find, oh, excuse me. Trying to find what's in front, what's behind. We can even accentuate some of that with some darker lines. This is kind of a funky angle, but we can see what we can do to get it feeling okay. Also a fantastic illustrator, which I've followed for ages, that I don't think I've mentioned before, because he's not really in the sort of character design, entertainment, art sort of space. But I was following for years, like for ages before I even got into any of the Instagrammy sort of stuff. Tommy Robinson. This is giving me his kind of vibe. Very simplified, very, yeah. But it's very, what would you say? It's like advanced simplification, if that makes any sense. It like looks very believable, even though there's only like a few lines there. Probably too big, maybe, possibly. Angle's probably wrong. That's what it is, I think. Appreciate it, Deborah. This one was a real study in just super ultra simplification. Cool. No, Lana, I haven't. Oh, gamer. Love it. Committing to the lines. Very good. All right. What do we do? Paint. Oh. Norfel, are you using a basic brush? I'm using one of my brushes, but it is a very basic brush. You could get a similar effect by using like the hard round pressure, but then just squishing it. You know, so you could come here and squish it. You can get something kind of similar. That works as well. Alfie, what's going on? I hope you paint this one. The Red Sox are fun. Oh, do I paint this one? Or do I just... I kind of just want to noodle on this for a little bit. I'm going to try... I'm going to disappoint you, Alfie. I'm going to just try and noodle on this one for a little while. Because I did want to get a bit of painting in today. So, I'm going to talk through what I'm thinking. There is something off here. It's stressing me out. And I'm sick of it. Appreciate it, Moi Moi. Actually, let's get up some inspiration. This music sounds like GTA 4. Like these kinds of colors would actually be very fun. to play around with. So if we even just have them on the side, because I could then just start off. Maybe it's the background. Maybe this is just not. Working for me, you know. So there's now a little bit of context for him, you know? Now there's a lot of work to do with him. There's some consistency issues with the lighting. Moi, by the way, do you have any advice for me? I'm not sure. I got burned out so badly and I literally can't hold my pen to draw, and like feels a little heavy to me even after taking some break. Just got me worse. Help. Can you get yourself to get some momentum back on the smallest scale possible? Almost laughable. Right? So get your sketchbook, get the pen, pick it up, draw an eye, draw a cube, draw a cylinder, draw a tree, like something very, very small, low risk. Don't show anyone. Close the book. You're done for the day. Get back, do it tomorrow. You know, start doing that to build that habit up again, which will build momentum, which is going to help, which has helped me in the past, particularly if I'm trying to tackle different things that I'm not used to, or it's like a little bit daunting. Start as small as possible. Laughably small. Julio just recently started having a go at drawing people and came around your work and channel. It's been a really fun new journey to go back and practice along with the old videos. Thanks for leaving all that up. Oh, of course, Julio. Appreciate you popping in. No worries, moi. All right, let's have a look here. So what have we got? So we're going to have some sort of sunlight, low angle sunlight coming through, okay? So this is all going to be in shadow. Probably, to some degree. Right, this is going to be in shadow, shadow. Shadow, so we need some context. What's your first thing you'll do when you get to California? Probably have a bit of a sleep. And then, I don't know. Just go for a walk, I reckon. Go for a walk. Enjoy the scenery. Get my bearings again. Hey Ben, do you like the character designs in Marvel Rivals? Yeah, no, they're sick. I really want to start pushing my character designs. And that's going to be like a good bit of reference for me, I think. The sort of Marvel Rivals vibes. Could be good fun. Now this here is going to be reflecting some of that blue light, which is going to make it feel like he's outside, you know? I think this could have been the issue. It was just out of context, you know? It's kind of like, what? But there are still some inconsistencies that I would like to tackle. If that's okay with you all. Get a matcha. I might actually. Then I'll go get an In-N-Out burger. That's what I'm going to get. Do you make your paintings using just one layer? Sometimes. I mean, I'm working just on one layer at the moment, you know. Any advice for someone who struggles to draw for longer periods of time? Work up to it, just like anything, just like training, the gym, running, whatever. Start with shorter periods and actually track it maybe. If that's your goal, track it. Do half an hour for a week each day. Then the week after, 45 minutes. Bump it up to an hour, you know what I mean? Any advice on putting a tattoo on a character without it looking like a sticker? Yeah, use a multiply layer. If you are using digital, multiply or overlay can help. Like if we wanted to add a tattoo on this fella, multiply. I would sort of hue it a little bit like more gluey, almost. Right? No. Let's just say he's got like a whatever tattoo here. Right? That's going to it's going to hold a little bit of context of the light that you have through it. You know what I mean? So the multiply layer would be a good bet for you. Hero, no worries, my friend. Hopefully that made sense. And I've been loving the work you've been doing, man. Now there's a little bit of a discrepancy with, yeah, his lid here. All right, so it's coming down this way, that light source. We want to focus on that center light first, and then we worry about all the fancy highlights and the fun stuff. Alright, so it's coming here. Also just taking a moment and just thinking through the problem. Lana, I know you say that brushes don't matter, but sometimes I think they matter a bit. I can agree with that. It depends on the effect that you want. You know? Like if I wanted a really smooth surface here, doing this with the hard round brush like I'm doing now isn't doing me any favors. You know, I'd probably go soft round and really make it ultra, ultra smooth, you know? So in that sense, I agree. Is JavaScript better than Dart? Oh, I don't know. I don't want to start any wars. I am a JavaScript guy because it's kind of the only thing that I know. Or taken the time to learn, put it that way. Yeah, Hero, that's a good idea. Go back to week 1 and go through it. Transparent materials are really difficult for me. Yeah, they are tricky, man. They are tricky, and it's going to take a bit of time to sort of get them feeling the way that you want them to. But you get there. You'll be fine. It's just going to take a bit of time. But don't you find some brushes you draw a bit better with? It's like getting a new pencil. Yeah, I guess. But I've also got to know what I'm doing with that pencil as well. Regardless. There comes a point where the tool isn't going to help you as much as skill and understanding what you want or the end result that you want. If that makes any sense at all. Now this is actually probably, yeah, the issue is in here. Right, there's no gap between the eye and the nose. Oh no, don't say that. That's probably true, darn it. I'd love to learn more from your work. Do you have a portfolio site? I'd also like to know which illustrators you like or find inspiring. Hero, yeah, my Instagram. Instagram is going to be where all my stuff is, more or less. Yeah, who else do I mean, as we talked about yesterday, JC Leyendecker from like the old masters. TB Choi, fantastic. Love her work. Kim Jong-gi, of course. Right, goes without saying. I can't think of those off the top of my head. But what I'd recommend is, as soon as you find someone that you like, put it somewhere. Whether it's save it on Instagram, or YouTube or whatever. Just save it somewhere so that you can come back to it later. Otherwise, you think that you'll remember their name. You won't. I mean, at least I haven't. I always forget. So there's an issue here. Right, because there's different planes going on. And we're not accounting for them. Hisham Habchi. Yeah. Good one, Ishan. Alright, I want to knock. Yeah, we're going to add back a lot of this stuff later, but I really just wanted to get the forms feeling right, which they're not at the moment. This is too, in here, too flat. Right, there would be a lot more value movement, I think. Based on that light source, so the light source is coming from here. I used to keep a list, but then moved it to a Google Sheet when I realized how many duplicates there were. Interesting. Poindexter, hey again, Ben. Going to sign off, but I guess I was just wondering how life is. How's the career? And I hope things are doing great. Poindexter, thank you so much. Yeah, life's doing good. Doing good, very busy. Very, very busy. But no, doing well. Appreciate you asking. A lot of plans. Little time, but a lot of plans. Alright, so now I've got to do something with this nose. Will I colour Willem? Potentially. You never know. He's done for today, I reckon. I really want to... This is annoying me. So here. So there's like a ridge here. and comes back like that, right? That also should be pretty subtle. Now, this is a tricky part with inventing light. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All the time. Maybe there is more of a plane there for his nose. Catch you later, Poindexter. This was your last class this week? Yeah, so yesterday had the last class. One thing I found out is that I go overtime a lot. I greatly underestimate how long it's going to take me. Which is what it is, but it is sort of, I don't want to waste anyone's time just going over time. Better than under time. True. Oh, I appreciate it, Hero. I've been looking for other illustrators I might too, but I can't really find anyone with a style like yours. That's why I'd love to know more about your own roots. Yeah. Jin Kim's a good one. Max Grecki, fantastic. Who else? Because I get my influences from all over the place, you know? Can Liu is also great. He's got some super cool works. I have to check him out. All right, I think we need to actually start this nose again because I'm noodling and it's not working for me. This is a danger, right? I could just keep going and going and going and going, but I've recognized there's something missing in my understanding of the form. So let's get rid of it. And let us even come on top of here, do a little sketch. So that was the kind of deal, right? A little wider. Trying to look at how I did it here. So it ducks in and out. In and out. Yeah, Max Cracky, yeah, his Marvel Snap cards are wicked. Yeah, Marvel's like Marvel Snap, Lorcana's stuff is really good as well. Candace, how you doing? Hi Ben, what's up with the missing nose? Trying to find these planes. And it's not working for me. So I just got rid of it. And starting again. So let's think here. Simplify the nose. Where's his center line? That's where we want to find it. Understand. The center line, we can understand a lot more about the topology of stuff. No worries here, right? So yeah, there's a disconnect here between the eye and that cheek, I think. Alright, let's give that one a go, shall we? Knock it back, find the planes. Off we go. I found myself into Euro artists in the last year. Alessandro Barbucci, Mirka Andolfo, Oscar Martin. Very cool. I have to check those out. Lately I've been obsessing over mangaka of Gachiakuta. The shape design and characters are just insane. I have to check them out as well. What's this guy's name? George? Sounds good to me. Georgie boy. See, now there's sort of like a connection point there with the nose, which is something that was missing. It was too just like slapped on. Arlen, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it still looks weird though, right? It looks like he's got bloody punched in the face. This is where we need iteration. Lots of iteration. And patience. Lots of that as well. Chris, hi Ben, do you take breaks during sessions? How frequently and how long? Or do you just take a break whenever you feel like it? Kind of just take a break whenever I feel like it, you know? With these live sessions, no. Typically not. Or if they are, they're just like 2-minute short little breaks. But yeah, if I'm going for like a longer one, I'll take a break for sure. Catch you later, lunatic. Catch you later, Lana. Oh, sorry. You're saying goodbye to Lana. Lunatic, my apologies. Appreciate you popping in, Lana. You have a good one, yeah? Ball with Sean. Savage. Sketch by Mike. Ben, which studio are you working for? Ben Ebland Studio. That's what I'm working for at the moment. Yeah, just working for myself at the moment. Feel like this is going to be a struggle one. It's not going to come together easily. 5 EDNZ. I've been trying my hand at portraits in Rebel, and I'd never done them before, and it's difficult, especially in the beginning when I'm laying down the strokes and it looks like rubbish. Yeah, it's one of those things where it will just look bad in the beginning. It sucks. It's annoying. But I've actually been playing around with Rebel a little bit. It's pretty cool. I quite like it. Yes, I like it. Not sure of which brushes to use at the moment to get the effect I want. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'm not used to the brushes either. It's just going to be a lot of trial and error. Fourthy, what's going on? Lima, how you doing? Do you come from a more traditional background? I guess Rebel is more familiar to those who do. Yeah, I don't. But it's fun to play around with though, right? It's actually really, really fun. Because I like how they position themselves as like a traditional painting simulator versus like a digital painting software, you know? A lot of trial and error when I use the mouse to draw, yeah. I'm Joel Santana. It would be so cool to see you draw Sagat from Street Fighter. That sounds familiar. I think maybe someone else asked me to do that ages ago. I do want to explore with some more fan art stuff in the future. So that could be a contender, definitely. Jolba, hey Ben, greetings from Brazil. How you doing? All right, now we've given him a bit of context. Now we can sort of more confidently come through. And yeah, give him more of this blue cast in the shadows, which makes more sense because he's in like the blue ambient light. Can really sort of push that. At your level of expertise, do you have any areas that you would like to improve on? Yeah. All of them. Yeah, lots. Like anatomy, more figure stuff, more whole scenes I'd like to do more of. More sort of painterly kind of stuff, more of like that traditional kind of feel. Yeah, all sorts. Lunatic, Ben, in your opinion, what is the worst way to draw in a computer? The worst way? I don't know if there's a worse way, but a difficult way to do it is with a mouse, which I think is what you're doing. Oh, with a touchpad. There you go. There's an old Japanese guy who makes masterpiece paintings using Excel. He colors the squares. Nothing wrong with that. That's all fundamentals. He almost rage quit. Yep. That'd be very tricky. Oh, Stan, what's going on, dude? I have to check my DMs because sometimes I get lost in the mix. John Wisney, how you doing from Spain? Did I see the controversy about the newest trailer for the upcoming Shrek movie? They reckon he looked different, like sort of generic, and Locks complained. Now the movie's been delayed. I mean, they're kind of smart, right? They're getting that much backlash. But yeah, he didn't look like the Shrek I knew from back in the day. Tyler, what's going on, dude? I appreciate it, Tyler. Yeah, the lighting's tricky on this one. We're slowly building it up. Little by little. Do you have any ref to use to help, or are you just aware of what the light should be? Yeah, I'm just kind of aware of what the light should be at the moment. If I did have reference, it probably would help me out. And I might get some at a later date, but I think we're wrapping up pretty soon. Right, we're gonna wrap it up. Been going for a while. And while I continue to noodle away, I'll mention a couple of things. Lightbox coming up. Myself, my good friend Rembert Montold. We're going to be in there. In the mix. Next week I'll have more things prepared as to what booth number and all that kind of thing. What else have I got? If you like this kind of stuff, we've got an 8-hour 10-chapter walkthrough tutorial available right now. Links in the description. Got a new course coming out very soon. Maybe even going to be opening up some workshop seats for early next year. So keep an eye out for that. No worries, lazy sketch guy. P.S. Leon. Hey Ben, how do you complete your artwork without losing your patience? I'm struggling with rushing my art. Any tips? Got to slow it down. Unless you got a deadline, there's no race. No worries, gamer. Thank you for the stream today. Take care. Get some lunch. Oh, I will. I will. You know, I thought it was kind of finished when you started, but you've rendered a lot more. Yeah, no, there's lots to do with this. Lots more to do if I was to finish it. Definitely. There's more of like an experimental thing. I just wanted to see if I could go from imagination and sort of get the lighting feeling somewhat natural. Not overly stressed about the outcome. Promise. Hi Ben, I'm back. How you doing? What tip can you give for rendering? Understand where that light source is. It's going to be your best friend. Where is that light source? And what is it? All right. I think I might head off. All right, I'm going to be here for another 6 hours trying to get this guy feeling half decent, you know? But it's okay. We got somewhere with him, I think. Had a fun little sketch. Alright, fun little simplification practice. And got this guy from... does that... Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe knock it back a tad. So if we group this one from what he was to... Yeah, better. I think that's kind of what we started with. Or maybe it was that. Yeah, we've refined it a lot. See, it just takes time. Takes time. Got to get the bad part out the way. Bad part out the way first, and then we can start to enjoy a little bit nicer of a thing. See, these are going to reflect that skylight, right? So yeah, so much for me. Bloody stop! I'm on a roll now. I can't stop myself, but I'm going to have to. Because my stomach is doing backflips. I'm hungry, but we've got to add in a little bit of this reflected indication of his fingers there. Nice. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's some trees in the background that's reflecting or something. Who knows? Then that's going to have an effect on his head somewhere. Where? That's for future me to figure out. Make it exist first, then you make it better. Boom. No, I got that from a meme. That wasn't what I've said it, but I didn't come up with it. Silence of God, doing well. Promise, a while back I saw your video about turning a black and white art to color, and I followed the steps recently and the results were amazing. Thanks. Glad to hear it, Promise. That's great. I just want to try one last little thing. Does this throw off anything? So this. Is that actually? Yeah, I'd have to have a look at some reference actually to see actually what would happen, whether the light would really just shine through and not be too affected, and then we might just have a bit of this action going on. Maybe. We also got to match it. It looks, yeah, see, going over his nose, that's a kind of an issue, right? So maybe we do a little bit of something like that, where it still shows that there's a shadow. Could be kind of visually confusing, but that again is for future me to figure out, because it should really wrap around the form. Alright, and this should probably come up here. That's more realistically what it would feel like, I think. And then this could be just that edge of the other glasses. Maybe. Who knows? With that, I will bid you adieu. And I will catch you same time next week, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time on a Sunday. No, Monday. Sunday, 3:30 p.m. PST. I think that's correct. Follow my stuff for all the correct dates and times and all that. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you next week. Lightbox coming up, going to be there with Rembert. There's going to be more posts about that. Check the links. You're smart people, you know what to do. Thank you again for everyone that's popped in. Really appreciate you. It means a lot to me, more than you know. All right. Have a good one, guys. I will catch you next week.